Hey everyone, and welcome to this explainer. Today we are unpacking a truly fascinating molecular sciences review, and we're going to explore a totally unexpected hero in the world of mental health. It's this incredible journey into biology, neuroscience, and nature, all coming together in a way you probably never would have imagined. So let's jump right into it.
Okay, so what if I told you that a weird-looking, fuzzy white mushroom, like literally something you might find growing on a tree or even saute up in your kitchen, could hold the key to helping heal one of the absolute most complex conditions of the human brain? I know, it sounds a bit like science fiction or maybe some ancient folklore, but modern science is taking a really close look at exactly this.
And we really need to take a close look because the stakes are incredibly high. Worldwide, depression affects over 300 million people. Let that sink in for a second. 300 million. That is a staggering number. It's one of the leading causes of the global disease burden. We're not just talking about feeling a little down. This is a severe disorder that impacts daily life, decision-making, and your physical health. This matters to all of us, for sure, either directly or through someone we love.
Okay, let's dive into this. Since the 1950s, prescription medication has been our go-to weapon against depression. But the research paper points out a pretty sobering reality. For adults dealing with moderate or severe depression, our current antidepressants only relieve symptoms in about 20% of patients. Just 20%. And to make matters trickier, more than half of users report experiencing side effects, things like headaches, anxiety, dizziness, and weight gain. Because of this, scientists are urgently looking for cost-effective alternative medicines that are just better tolerated by our bodies. Enter Hericium erinaceus, or, well, as it's more commonly known in East Asia, the lion's mane mushroom. It's a popular medicinal and culinary mushroom named because, honestly, it looks exactly like a white lion's mane. But what makes this funky mushroom so special to neuroscientists is that it contains unique compounds capable of crossing the blood-brain barrier. Think of the blood-brain barrier as this highly exclusive VIP bouncer for your brain. It keeps most things out. So the fact that lion's mane can slip past that bouncer means it can actually interact directly with our brain cells. So what exactly is slipping past the bouncer? Well, the mushroom's power comes from these specific bioactive compounds, basically nature's magic ingredients. The research isolates two main players here. First up, we have hericenones, which are found in the fruiting body. That's the fluffy, visible part of the mushroom that you'd actually eat. Second, we have erinacines, which are found in the mycelium. That's the root-like structure growing underground or inside the wood. And both of these tiny molecules are incredibly active once they get inside the brain.
Part 1. The brain as a garden. How lion's mane works.
To understand how these compounds help, we kind of have to look at the brain in a totally new way. Try thinking of your brain not as a computer, but as a garden. When someone experiences chronic stress and depression, it's like that garden is going through a severe drought, right? The neural networks, they basically wither, shrink, and lose their connections. Now, to recover from that drought, the garden needs to sprout new, healthy growth. In neuroscience, we call this neurogenesis. It's the brain's absolutely incredible ability to grow new cells, adapt, and form fresh connections. For a long time, scientists actually thought we were born with all the brain cells we'd ever have. No way. Now we know that certain areas of the brain, like the hippocampus, can actually grow new neurons. And stimulating this new growth, this neurogenesis, is a major target for treating depression. And this builds into a three-pronged attack. The review outlines that lion's mane combats the root causes of depression using three distinct superpowers. 1. It helps grow new neurons. 2. It balances crucial mood chemicals. And 3. It cools down brain inflammation. It's essentially like watering the garden, adding fertilizer, and putting up an umbrella to block the scorching sun, all at the exact same time. Let's look at superpower number 1, growing new connections. The compounds in lion's mane, particularly those dyrenacines we talked about, act like a highly specialized fertilizer for your brain. They've been shown to promote something called nerve growth factor, or NGF. And NGF is a protein that is absolutely vital for maintaining, surviving, and regenerating your neurons. In animal studies, lion's mane actually increased the number of new, surviving neurons in the hippocampus, which is the brain's main hub for learning, memory, and emotion. Moving right along to superpower number 2, balancing brain chemicals. You've probably heard of serotonin and dopamine, right? These are the classic mood-regulating chemicals in our brains. Well, under chronic stress, your brain's reserves of these chemicals can get severely depleted. The research highlighted that high doses of lion's mane extract effectively restored the depleted levels of serotonin, dopamine, and norepinephrine in stressed animal models. So it's essentially helping the brain restock its own mood-boosting pharmacy. And then we have superpower number 3, cooling brain inflammation. A huge modern theory of depression is the inflammatory hypothesis. Basically, when your body is under severe stress, it releases these pro-inflammatory markers. Think of it like getting a fever, but inside your brain, which causes depressive behaviors like deep fatigue and a total loss of interest in things you usually love. Well, lion's mane has demonstrated the ability to act as a coolant. It significantly reduces these inflammatory markers, essentially bringing down the brain's temperature and easing those symptoms of inflammation-associated depression. Part 2. The evidence: mice, menopause, and mood. Now, what's really interesting about this slide is how the data builds credibility here. Starting over with the preclinical studies, mice that were exposed to chronic stress showed restored brain chemicals and massive drops in inflammatory markers when they were given lion's mane. Then, moving over to the clinical study side, we're actually seeing trials where menopausal women who ate lion's mane cookies for 4 weeks showed alleviated symptoms of depression and anxiety. We're even seeing overweight and obese patients showing improved mood and better sleep after just 8 weeks of taking it in capsule form. But hey, we do need to inject a little fact-based optimism here. As the authors of the review explicitly point out, the current research on these antidepressant effects is still at a relatively early stage. The human trials we just discussed, they are incredibly promising, but they were small, sometimes gender-specific, and they lacked large placebo control groups. So lion's mane isn't some magical overnight cure. We still need much more comprehensive, large-scale research to fully understand how it stacks up against conventional drugs.
Part 3. Summary and next steps.
So the absolute crucial point is this. Lion's mane is really standing out as a highly promising alternative medicinal food. It doesn't just slap a Band-Aid on your symptoms, it's targeting 3 fundamental brain pathways. It encourages the growth of new brain cells, it balances out depleted mood chemicals, and it fights off that brain inflammation. And while the clinical evidence is definitely early, it is undeniably exciting and points toward a really cool future of holistic brain care. But here is my call to action for you guys. Please, always prioritize your mental health safely. If you or someone you know is struggling with depression, consult a medical professional. Never just stop taking your prescribed medications or drastically change your treatment plan on your own. Instead, take this explainer right to your doctor. Ask them about integrative mental health, nutritional psychiatry, and whether functional foods like lion's mane could be a safe, complementary part of your personal wellness journey. Which leaves us with one final, fascinating thought to ponder. As we continue to face a global mental health crisis, and as our traditional medications really show their limitations, we have to look forward. Given their unbelievable ability to cross the blood-brain barrier and help our brains literally regrow and heal, are medicinal fungi the future of mental health treatment? I really hope this explainer sparked your curiosity to keep following the science. Thanks so much for learning with me today.